Hello, Oakside families. My name is Mrs. Hernandez, and I am the very proud principal of Oakside Elementary School. I hope that this video finds you well. I hope that you are all feeling well and that you are spending lots of time with your families during these new and difficult times we find ourselves in. The elementary principals will be doing weekly video messages to all of our parents so that you have pertinent information about what is happening in your child's education. And we hope that these videos will be helpful to you. I do have some information to share with you today, and I would ask that you be patient with me as there is quite a lot of information and I don't want to leave anything out. So I will be looking at my notes from the computer as I speak on the video. So a couple of weeks ago, we handed out packets, instructional packets for your children to work in. And we are very grateful for you helping them to work in those instructional packets during the last few weeks. Those packets will be running out soon. And so the district is working very hard to come up with an instructional plan that makes sense for our families, that is good for students, and that will help them to continue in their education. Our next step is going to be to take our learning online for those families who do have access to online tools. We'll be using a variety of different programs, and your teachers will be reaching out to you this week to ensure that you and your children have access to those programs. For those who have limited capability to internet or to a computer, that's okay. We will be providing a new instructional packet for those students. Information on when and where you can pick those packets up will be given out later on this week. We want to make sure that your children have access to certain applications that we will be using throughout our time of distance learning. Two of those applications can be located on our Clever portal. If your child is having trouble logging into Clever, please reach out to your child's teacher, and your child's teacher will guide you through the process. There, you will find the programs of ST Math and Zern. Those are two mathematics programs that will help your child to increase in their mathematical capabilities and also will support learning. The other two websites that we want to make sure that you are able to enter are Epic Books and Raz Kids. Your child has a Raz Kids account as well as an Epic account where their teachers can assign them books to read, and there are questions for them to answer so that they can work on their reading skills while they're home as well. Again, if you're having any trouble logging into these programs, please reach out to your child's teacher. Thank you. So the school is providing some supports for our families. Teachers are going to definitely be the first line of defense. If you have questions, if you have concerns, please reach out to your child's teacher first. The teachers are willing and ready to have conversations, to email you, whatever the case may be, whatever form of communication works best for you. They are ready and able and available during normal school hours. Additionally, we know that these are difficult times for many, and so if your child needs emotional support, if you need emotional support, if you need anything, any resource that we can provide, you can find those things on the peakskillcsd.org website. The website has lots of information there for you to navigate that will help you guide yourself through these times. Additionally, we have technical support available as well. So if you are having some technical difficulties, there is a form you can fill out on peakskillcsd.org and someone will help you. A good question is, how can I best support my child at home? And as a mom of three, I can tell you that it has not been easy to find the balance of this new life, but there are definitely some things that we can do to lighten the load. One of those things is to create a schedule, and this schedule should work for you and your children. We know that everyone has a different situation right now, and so working with your children and sitting down and creating a schedule that works for your family is a great idea. Once you've created that schedule, do your best to stick to it because consistency and structure are two of the most important things that we can give our children. We would also like you to find a quiet place in your home where your child can work and concentrate on his or her schoolwork without interruption. In addition, we would like for your child to be able to take some brain breaks. Working is really great, but we also need them to stand up and maybe do some jumping jacks or play a game or do a little dance on Go Noodle. Those kinds of things will help them to get their blood flowing and stimulated and get them back into the learning process. It's really important during this time while your child is using online tools to monitor what they're using. The internet is a very, very big place. There are lots of wonderful things out there for children to be utilizing. We are going to try to keep it simple for you and for them and to utilize certain programs like the ones I mentioned earlier. But if your child is venturing out on different programs, please just make sure to keep an eye on what they're looking at, because we want to make sure that all that they're doing on the computer is for their well-being. We'd also like to remind our kids that if they get frustrated, if we get frustrated, that's okay. If they're finding this difficult, it is difficult, and it's a natural feeling that we can all have. And through the entire school year from September, we've been teaching our children that, having feelings is natural and normal, but our reactions to our feelings are what can make the difference. And so teaching them how to navigate these different emotions that they're having at this time is crucial. And if you need support with that, please let us know. We also want to remind all of our students that we love them and we're here for them to help in any way that we can. So if you do need help, how can you reach out to us? That's a really good question. So the best person to contact first is your child's teacher. Your child's teacher is going to be leading the way for their education during this time of distance learning, and it's really important that the homeschool connection be as strong as ever for this to really work. Many teachers use Remind App, or they might use Class Dojo. Whatever system of communication that the teacher has set up since the beginning of the year with you is the place that I would start. If you need to reach out to anyone else in the school, you can call the school at 914-737-1591, and you can leave a message. Our secretary will be listening to those messages, and she will be sending those messages to the people in the school who can answer your questions the most accurately. We will have our social worker and our psychologist and our school counselor available to answer questions, as well as myself and Mrs. Woodley. Of course, you can feel free to email me at any time. My email is chernandez@peakskillschools.org, and I'm here to help in any way that I possibly can. Additionally, if you are looking to email your child's teacher, you can do that by typing in the first initial of their first name with their last name at peakskillschools.org. So again, my email address as an example is chernandez@peakskillschools.org. We are here to help, so please reach out. Every morning, we give a special announcements message to all of our students. We announce students' birthdays, and I usually take a moment to lay out what students' day should look like. I remind them of the expectations that we have for their learning for the day, and I also like to give them a special message. This week, we talked about what it means to be an Oakside owl. And we talked about that the O stands for being opportunistic. We look for opportunities and ways in which we can make the most out of different situations. We are also wise, and we use wise for the letter W in the word owls, and we make good choices. We know the difference between right and wrong. The letter L, we said, stood for being loving, right? We are loving owls. We are kind to one another, and we help one another, and we collaborate. And the letter S in the word owls stands for being a scholar. We are truly people who love to learn. And so these are things that you can discuss with your children, and feel free to go back and watch the old videos that we've done of the morning messages, or the M&Ms as we like to call them. The coolest thing about this program that we use to do the morning messages, called Flipgrid, is that the students can actually respond back to me through a video. They can do a short little video responding to the question that I pose. or just saying hi. And you can have your child engage in that, or you can do it with them. And oftentimes staff members also engage in those videos. So it's quite a lot of fun. It's a fun way to communicate. So our goals this week are to reach out to you to make sure that your child is all set up for online learning. And if you have any questions, we'll be there to answer them. Please make sure to be looking out for a phone call from your child's teacher. Sometimes the phone number may come up as private, and so we just want you to be aware of that, so that if you see that, you might know that it could be potentially your child's teacher trying to reach out to you. We also want to thank you. We want to thank you for partnering with us during this time. We know that it's not easy. We know that everyone is trying to find their new balance. And we are so grateful for the partnership that we have with our families so that we can continue your child's education. Please remind your kids that we love them so much, that we miss them, and we can't wait to give them big, huge hugs. Oftentimes, Mrs. Woodley and I greet the students in the morning and we say goodbye to them in the afternoon, and we are truly missing doing that every day. Mrs. Woodley sends her love as well. She misses all of you very much, and she can't wait to see your beautiful faces again. Please reach out to us if you need support in any way, whether it be academically or emotionally. If you have a need, please let us know, and we will do our best to fill that need as best we can. Thank you so much, and we look forward to another wonderful week of learning, and we will see you next week for the next video message.